George finds himself alone again and remembering times that, despite the fireworks, he would later describe as some of the happiest in his life.
I've got the urge to tell the world about it.
There had always been a self-destructive element in George. In the next few years, he would give new meaning to the phrase down and out.
Well, you know, I drank to start with quite a bit more, a lot more than I should have, and then when it seemed like everything in the world was down on me, that's when I just didn't care anymore.
Me and Jesus got our own thing going. Me and Jesus got it all worked out. Me and Jesus got our own thing going. We don't need anybody to tell us what it's all about. You know,
George said, Tom T, let's go out to Las Vegas. Well, I said, I can't, you know, I'm on tour out here, you know. I got a whole band and a whole bunch out here. He said, yeah, well, they'll be here when you get back. Let's go out to Las Vegas and gamble a little bit. So I said, I can't go, you know, I'd really like to go. But I kind of got the notion that George was getting to feel adventurous, you know, or a little bit, he'd been calm and quiet for a little too long. So I talked my way out of that. I didn't go. I didn't go to Las Vegas. And so I got back to Nashville a few days later and picked up the newspaper, and George had been to Las Vegas. And for some weird reason or another, he wound up in New Orleans kicking the windows out of a hospital. So I got to reading the paper, and I said, you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't make that trip.
Where does it go? The good Lord only knows. Seemed like it was just the other day. I was down in Green Gables, hawking them tables, generally blowing all of my hard-earned pay. Piney Road blues, I've been toes in the shoes. There weren't another other way to be. For them lovable losers and no-account losers and honky-tonk heroes like me.
George come to my house one time, and I was hiring a kite, but George was drunker than I was high. And he went crazy. And I'm trying, you know, he kicked me and he swung at me, you know, and he threw things at me, and I'm trying to settle him down. And I can't do it. So I took him down and held him down. And then, but you know what? George ain't very big, but his stuff was lasting better than mine, because I got to getting tired, so I had to tie him up. We laugh about it now, you know. That's about all we can do, you know. It's nothing we can be proud of or anything like that, you know. The ones who can be proud are the ones who never fell into that trap.
All you got to do is think about, down through the years, how George has abused himself. He was almost set on self-destruct.
We drank together. We took pills together. We got in trouble together. We suffered a lot of pain together, but we had what we thought were some great times together.
And I think a lot of what us old country boys have done down through the years is basically we were trying to have a good time. And then suddenly it dawns on you that, you know, you're not really having that much fun.
And in spite of all the things that he has done to destroy himself, and would have destroyed 99% of the other people in this business that I know, he can still stroll out on the stage, strap on that guitar and start singing and knock you right out of your seat.
Now I'm just a bartender. I don't like my work, but I don't mind the money at all. I see lots of sad faces and lots of bad cases of folks with their backs to the wall. I need 4 walls need a honky-tonk angel to hold me tight. She'll help keep me from slipping away.
All George wanted to do is sing songs, and that's all. It was a very simple lifestyle, and he could not understand the hoopla and the success he was having. I mean, it's sort of a love-hate situation when you go through that, because every time George would get in trouble, all I know is we would sell more product. And we were 1 million albums before we knew it.
Bartender's Blues, written by pop star James Taylor, brings George's music into the sphere of a whole new audience. Artists as diverse as Ray Charles, Andy Warhol, Linda Ronstadt, and Bonnie Raitt drop backstage to pay their respects.
A rock and roll singer pretty well summed it up. I was with Nick Lowe and Elvis Costello in the recording studio. And I was playing a demo by George Jones, and Elvis Costello and Nick Lowe were sitting there with tears in their eyes. They were drinking a little bit, but Elvis Costello held that bottle up and said, "The greatest country singer in the history of the world, George Jones." I said, "You're right."
He was sitting in my office at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had this huge event planned in New York at the Bottom Line. It was George Jones and country music comes to New York. That's the way it was built. And it was really a big event in New York. A lot of top press was going to be there. As I recall, most of the cast, I think, from Saturday Night Live was going to be there. It was a great media event, and certainly an event for country music in New York. And we made our plans, the travel arrangements and so forth. George excused himself from my office, left, and we didn't see him for 3 weeks. He just did not show up. And that was the first in a series, and we ultimately dubbed him No-Show Jones.
George's life is in turmoil, both emotionally and financially. Missed concert dates turn into entire canceled tours, and lawsuits from promoters pile up. He frequently disappears for days on end, and then suddenly turns up at some out-of-the-way roadhouse or honky-tonk to perform for the people who had always been closest to his heart. George was running from the star system that threatened to swallow him up. The race was on, and George was falling back fast.
Me tight and keep me from slipping away.
It's the damnedest project I've ever worked on. We're dealing with all this negative press. Promoters were down on him. Radio was down on him. Everybody hated him except his fans.